Are you prepared for AI in 2026? Let's take stock. Cover the foundations that we laid in 2025 so that you can tell if you've ticked all the boxes or if you need to get something up to speed there, and what we're going to focus on in 2026 to make sure you're ready. 2025 was about laying the foundations. We informed our leaders, created leadership alignment, and removed any resistance. We selected our AI tools, we created an AI policy, and we trained our staff. What does that look like? So step one has always been leadership alignment. We need to inform our leaders and make sure they're all with us. They're all going in the same direction. 2023, 2024, some of 2025, the questions that were on their mind were around handling confidential information, maintaining quality of work, and even should we or should we not spend money on AI? Is it even worth it? They are no longer the questions people are talking about. Now the conversation shifted to how do we fit this into our workflow? So your first question to look at your business is, do you still have people in your leadership team, anyone with decision-making capacity that is still not convinced that we should spend money on AI, that we should get secure accounts for everyone, that knows how to handle confidential information, or still limiting team members and telling them, yeah, use AI, but don't use it with any client data? Do you still have anyone like that in your business that you need to have a chat with and bring up to speed? If you still have those, you're falling a bit behind. Step 2 in our AI adoption framework is selecting our tools. And we talk about the radar, things in the center that I must be implementing today, otherwise I'm falling behind. Things in the second rim, there are emerging apps, emerging app categories, emerging AI use cases that I want to watch and monitor, or maybe pilot. That will put me with the early adopters and maybe with early majority. And then outside of that, noise that I can ignore. In 2025, we saw that big shift in that center of the radar, saying everyone must have a safe, secure account on a general purpose AI tool like ChatGPT or Copilot that they can use for everything, not limited by the fear of sharing confidential information. We saw firms that only give it to leaders and managers and partners. 2026, if you still have people in your team that don't have a secure AI tool to use for their everyday job, you're falling behind. You need to get up to speed. This is no longer acceptable. It's like moving to desktop and leaving some people to work on paper. We're not doing that. The third step in our AI adoption framework is our AI policy. In 2023, people created the first drafts of AI policy, also in 2024. In 2025, we had to update them because the first drafts dealt with which tools you're allowed and not allowed to use, where you're allowed to share confidential information, and the fact that you're accountable for your work and you need to review everything. But then in 2025, we had to update it to include things like there's AI agents happening. We can put AI into automated workflow. We can let AI run in the background and do things for us. There are AI-powered browsers. Are we allowed to use those? And if we are, how do we use them? All of these need to come into our AI policy. Also, the area of AI connectivity into our apps, allowing AI apps to look into our different apps and get information from it and make updates in it. All of that needs to be up to date in our policies. If it's not, there's your next action item. Review your AI policy to make sure it's up to date. So those are the 3 core elements that we worked on in 2025. We aligned our leaders, we selected our general purpose AI tools, and we created a good up-to-date AI policy. What happens in 2026? Well, we update all of that and bringing in AI agents and AI agency, because this is what happens in 2026. So in 2026, we're starting to see AI employees. We're starting to see AI-powered browsers that can click around the browser for us, not just talk to us about things. We're starting to see AI prompts that can live in the background and pop up or get triggered whenever a certain event happens and do a thing autonomously. We're starting to see workflows, that sort of the old-fashioned if this then that workflows, that suddenly have AI steps in them where AI makes a decision or does a thing. We're starting to see connectivity. We're starting to see our AI tools, Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and all the others, Gemini, having access into different systems, into our accounting app, into our client management app, into all different systems to get context for us about the client or about the project or about the thing we're working on. And also then having tools, being able to update things back into those systems. This is emerging. These are things that if you're not using today, that's okay. That's early adopter territory. But this is what's flowing in 2026 into the early majority and then late majority. This is what we're going to be focusing on. So if you want to sit and wait for it to happen, you're happy being late majority, relax. If you want to be early majority and you want to understand what's happening, so as it starts trickling in, you're ready, join me in some webinars. We're doing webinars in February to talk about exactly these things, and then we'll do hands-on workshops to implement. We're doing separate ones for accountants and for lawyers so that we can focus on the examples and use cases and apps that are relevant for these cohorts. So I'll see you there.